Guys, welcome back to the Match Chat Podcast with yours truly, Buff Daddy, Big Sexy, Paulie P, Uncle P, Red Man, Blue Eyes, Baby Shay, the Platinum Blonde, Hellboy, and producer extraordinaire Peter Oberg. We're back for another wonderful episode of the Match Chat Podcast.
I feel like something's missing.
Yes, you're correct. You are correct in that. But before we talk about the missing link, because I think that's
a very good description.
He/it should be called the missing link. Guys, please remember to share, like all of our stuff on social media, especially the YouTube page, YouTube channel, etc., etc. Like it, share it. We really love and appreciate all the support you guys have shown it, and we want to keep getting our messages out there to the populace. So please continue to do that. So to get back to what you're talking about, it/he/Frank Grizzly
/them
Cuzzy Frank
them
multiples is not here today.
I noticed that
after he had confirmed to be here today, and as I like to call it, he fucked the team. So so that's it. So
just in case you're wondering, you fucked the team.
Fucked the team. So we will revisit that with him when he's back here for the next episode.
It will be nice to have the attention, that is the negative attention, on somebody else besides me. So Frank, you miss all you want just so we can nail you in the beginning of every podcast.
Tell them about the cookies we had today.
Yes. Ooh. Patience brought in some wonderful delectables.
I didn't want anybody, but I got some for a friend.
Yeah, but you did. See, like what I do with the delectables is I taste them for poison. Because I don't want anyone to get sick. Yeah. So
Well, thank you, and I appreciate that.
I'll nibble on them to make sure none of the staff get sick, friends that come in. Like Peter was like, "Are these for the public?" I'm like, "Absolutely."
I took a sampling of a bunch of them because you never know. Sometimes they'll sporadically put poison in. So I ate a bunch from a bunch of different areas.
They also put in a box of the saltwater taffy, which is fantastic. Okay, and the fact of the matter, I've had nothing but supplements and 2 protein shakes mixed with a couple of cookies and some saltwater taffy, so I'm feeling pretty jacked up. With some black coffee.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
We're feeling good for today's episode, But circling back, Frank fucked the team. Let's begin. So, guys, today what we want to talk about is something that it seems like a revolving door in society and a revolving door with people. And you continually run into people that love to voice their opinions about things they have no involvement in whatsoever. None. I know you've seen this 1,000 times. You've run into
it. Happens every day.
Happens every day. And
you get the couch warriors or the
armchair quarterbacks.
There you go.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
All that, whatever you want to call them. And the last few weeks,
you like how I said the couch warriors?
Couch warriors.
That was my way of saying. I know there's a saying out there. I don't really know it, and I definitely am not going to give any type of football innuendos because I hate football. But.
I get it.
The armchair quarterbacks.
Armchair quarterbacks. I get it.
Couch warriors.
Well, I think the best way to relate it is like, okay, do you remember the Tapout shirts?
Of course.
The Tapout t-shirts, right?
Who doesn't?
Okay. Great t-shirts.
Yeah.
Great story behind that, the whole, that whole company and so on and so forth.
And that was really when MMA/jiu-jitsu/ this whole no holds barred fighting just came out. So if you were a fan of that, whether you did it or not, you had one of these shirts.
Sure, and that's my problem.
Correct.
So you hit the nail on the head. So the thing is that I, regardless of my background in jiu-jitsu, have never owned a Tapout shirt. Ever. Never. Okay? By all rights, should I rock one? Yeah. A first-degree black belt. Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I can wear one. Never wore one. Never wore any type of shirt like that whatsoever. And what I'm trying to say is that people that do, but have never trained an ounce of any type of grappling, fighting, fencing, right? Sword fighting, whatever you want to anything. All of a sudden want to speak as if they're
an expert.
And I've run into that more so the last few weeks than whatever. Than it's like you said, it happens all the time. But like,
all the time.
I've run into this a couple times, and it's usually with jerk offs that I either don't like you already, B, you're trying to impress me. C, I'm trying to stay away from you. You just keep coming in my space and wanting to engage me in these conversations. And D, I end up getting aggravated.
Well, you gotta understand, they're coming up to you because they're trying to associate themselves with you because they know that you're the type of person that could legitimately wear the shirt. So they feel if they're hanging out or talking with you, they must be getting the street cred. Oh yeah, look, you see who we're with? That's in my opinion, I think that's what's going on there.
Listen, I don't think it's about street cred because I'm not from the streets.
Again, another
yeah.
expression.
No, I get
It's,
it. Yeah,
it's their
I'm not-
figure. Well, if I'm going to wear this shirt, I'm going to hang out with people that do the style, so that way I can act like I fit in with them.
But you know what they say? This might apply to you. If the bra fits, wear it.
If the man's ear fits, wear it.
Wow.
For the record, I'm on my comeback trail, okay? Shoulders getting better. I'm back to training twice a week. I'm working out. So let me tell you something. If you notice in this episode, the stomach is a lot slimmer, okay? So I should be wearing a Slim Fast shirt right now, but I'm not, because I don't do that.
How long can you suck it in?
For about another 15 seconds, and then I gotta take a breath. So I will pull myself up closer to the table, so it goes underneath and you don't
Those
see it.
cookies went somewhere.
To my ears,
Delicious. Delicious, delectable,
to my
like I said.
earlobes.
You're right, man. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, and like,
100%.
and the worst part about it is like, when you know you're dealing with a person who has historically run this bullshit all the time, and they don't stop. And they don't stop. I was at a sporting event with a good friend of mine, and I got crazy with somebody who I've gotten crazy with before, and they kept coming back for more. To the point where I'm like, we're driving home, and my friend says to me, he goes, I've never seen such stupidity in my life. Like, I've never seen it. Like, you know, it got, and you kept hitting him over the head with facts, and you're coming back at me with nonsense. You know what I mean? And like, for instance, this particular conversation covered a bunch of different subject matters. And then this particular person made the mistake of saying to me, well, it's like jujitsu. If you don't have technique, you don't have anything. And I turned around and said to him, bullshit. Because I remember before I had technique, my horsepower, I'd pick you up and throw you in your fucking head, and that'd be the end of it.
Now, has this guy ever trained jiu-jitsu?
Well, that's the point is,
Okay.
never did,
But it's impressive that he's able to make a jiu-jitsu analogy.
Involved in like promoting or some shit like that. And it's
Okay,
like,
all right.
whatever. You could be a great promoter, but you never fought a day in your life. You never trained a day in your life. You can't
know the
You
application.
can't even keep yourself in shape.
And you don't know the
You
application.
don't know the application. Because if I want to get technical, go look at all the top guys in the world. They're built like gorillas. They're big, fast, strong, and athletic. Okay, they lift weights, they climb ropes. They run hills. They do hit train. They do everything on top of their jiu-jitsu training, just like any other athlete does. But more importantly, who are you to say anything?
Right.
You don't train. I don't care how many fucking fights you promote. I don't care what boards you're on. You don't train. You don't train. See my ears, they're mangled for a reason. My body, it's broken for a reason. What about you? You're not doing anything, and you're over here, you're pontificating like you're an expert on something. You're an expert on nothing. Be an expert on talking bullshit. Then you got my attention. Because I'm like, all right, I'm going to get entertained by his bullshit. But don't talk like you're, and I even told this person, you're uninformed. You're misinformed. Okay?
And he continued to come back
have
to
no
you and
idea.
ask more questions or give more advice.
Just it was a plethora of topics, and more importantly, I was talking to a friend of ours from Evolution Grappling Academy who kind of knows the person.
Yeah.
He's like
So
not
who
surprised.
that is?
Yeah, like, exactly. But I'm not. He's like I'm not, because that's just the way it goes, And it becomes a scenario where, do me a favor, stay away
Shut
from
up.
me.
Yeah, or just shut up.
Just shut up or stay
Just
away
shut up.
from me.
I don't want to get nerdy on you,
Sure.
but it's, you and Shakespeare are right in line, just so you know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
one of
felt the
his-
same way.
One of his most famous lines was from Macbeth, and he said, it is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Thank you.
And he went right to the point of what you're saying.
Right.
That people talk, sound and fury, just bullshit, told by idiots, signifying nothing at all.
Right.
How the heck Did you even come up with that quote, Peter?
Because he's smart. And he's not worried about trying to divert the
trying to
podcast
divert.
from nonsense. He's actually showing content
he's
to what's going
actually-
on.
I'm impressed.
He's talking about a famous universal theme that great men have thought about, and obviously
Since the
he thought
1500s.
even before.
Yeah. What was Shakespeare was what?
He was 1590s,
Yeah,
1610s, whatever. Macbeth might have been around 1600.
Right.
But Paul's on the money.
Yeah.
Because it's real what he's saying, folks. So fucking pay attention.
Thank you. So, like, and again, listen, I know my personality, and I'm hot-wired for topics, and listen.
How long,
haven't figured it
how
out
long
yet.
have you known this guy? Because I got to
A
be
long
honest.
time, a long
Then
time.
how does he not know your personality
Does.
to say, okay, I got to shut up now?
Well,
Is
well,
he smart enough, if he watches this, to know that you're talking about him?
yeah, he should be. But it's the point where, like, I could say one thing. I had Coach Guy Rossini with me, and he was cracking up because I got to like a DEF CON 2, 3, yeah. Like
Oh,
around-
wow.
Yeah, because there was a lot of history behind what I was, because it just kept coming and coming, and you could see it. He's like, and I'm looking this way and picture him to my side. He's looking at me. He's going. 'Cause he's loving, what's going on because I'm going on about it, and it's like, it's to the point where, enough. And he made a comment to me because I told you I was probably DEF CON 3, Touch 2.
Wow.
Okay, and
You're animated
yeah,
there.
oh, I'm more than that.
What you were fine up to what point? Like what triggered
I wasn't
you?
fine from point one
But you were
because from the
tolerating
minute that I engaged the person, he started with bullshit, and I even made a comment.
Is this an ongoing thing?
Yeah,
or
and
is this-
I even made a comment to try and kill it,
Yeah.
and made like a very aggressive / asshole comment. To
Hoping
figure-
that he was gonna be like,
just,
"All right, shit, I'm
let
gonna
me just
leave."
walk
Yeah,
away.
exactly.
But it didn't happen. So like, and that's kind of what preempted me to go from DEF CON 5 down to 3, 2 to 1,
Do
down
you want
to
to
2.
give the initials so people could try to figure it out?
It's it had to do with a scenario with
And it's-
sports. I don't want to like.
It's not FC because he's not here today. We don't want people.
No.
to
It's not Frank
misinterpret
Seattle. It's
that.
not Frank
No,
Seattle.
You heard his.
No.
Oh, God,
no.
It's not that. And like, in a normal circumstance, it'd probably be a little more clear. But there's some things there that I completely want to protect because they're good and they're positive, and I want to keep it that way. But it goes back to the individual again.
It's just a
where-
generic jerk off who's throwing his 2 cents in where he
about
shouldn't be.
nonsense and
Yeah.
like. And if again, listen, you can see them all. You see them on Facebook. You see them on Instagram. You see them in person.
I live on Facebook.
It's the same bullshit, but you're not living that truth. That's my thing. You're not living that truth. You're not living it. If you say you are a wrestler, you better be a wrestler. If you say you're a baseball player, you better be a baseball player. If you say you're a jiu-jitsu player, you better be a jiu-jitsu player. If you're a hockey player, you better be a hockey player. And that's what I mean by living your truth, because we're talking about now. So my thing is, don't speak on nonsense. Be what you say. Okay? Don't try and act like you are. Listen, I could go hang out in Gleason's gym in Brooklyn with all the top boxers. I'm not a boxer. And
You may watch a lot of boxing, you may
I
know
love
a lot
boxing.
about it,
I'm a
but-
historian, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm not a boxer, and I'm sure he's not going to tell anyone how to be a boxer. Not one bit, I'd never do it. It's because you hang around fighters don't make you an expert on Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, grappling. You're not. You're not.
Yeah, you're right. Hemingway, the macho Hemingway, wrote about boxing, bullfighting, everything, and he thought he could box a little bit. I forget what fighter he was with. It was a famous boxer, and they were just joking around, and that boxer did something, and he just put his fist to his jaw and just stopped. And Hemingway realized that the guy could have killed him, and he shut up.
Right.
Because all he does is write about it.
Right.
He's not a boxer.
Right. And it's there you go. I mean, perfect.
Yeah, but
perfect
watch this.
analogy.
Here's the key,
Guy
though.
didn't have to-
This guy
didn't
shut
have-
up.
he
Your
didn't have
guy
to say
didn't.
anything. He didn't have to say anything.
That's
guy
the difference.
demonstrated.
Yeah.
If you,
Finally there was some silence
Hemingway,
afterwards.
really?
Yeah. But finally there was
he's
some.
macho,
Yeah.
man.
yeah, So
You should be freaking loving him.
finally there was some silence because it got to the point where I told you I touched DEF CON 2. And to the point where I threatened to take my
Did you
shirt
take a
off.
step? Did you take a step
No,
towards him?
I was
Oh.
sitting down. I threatened to take my shirt off. And I was like, I'm taking my shirt off. I'll show you. So I got muscles all over me. I'll show you. That's
Is he younger than
that's,
you?
No, same age bracket.
Oh my
So
God.
it was even more
So age-
apropos to happen.
Age
I mean,
didn't bring any wisdom.
no, none. None. And
All
it's
sound and fury,
but
told by an
the
idiot,
thing is though, like,
signifying
finally,
nothing.
I think he finally got it and realized that he needed to step down because I made it very clear that I take it personal. Okay, when you try to manipulate or talk bullshit or do things about certain things, places, people, that I'm going to take it personally. To the point where the comment was made, man, your testosterone levels are through the roof. And I said, you're fucking right they are. You're right they are. Going, they're through the roof because of bullshit like that. Okay? Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I wish Rossini was here because he could tell you about it. You know, but like...
I wish I was there. I
Yeah,
would have
so-
just liked to watch
so
it
the
unfold.
the point being is like, listen, man, don't think you diffuse me because you want to compliment the fact that I'm raging now. I'm raging now because you're a misinformed imbecile, okay, that pontificates and speak on things, whether it's athletes, kids, places of birth, like you know something and you don't know anything. When the complete opposite, when your life, the complete opposite happens of what you try to propagate that you do. And that's the thing that bothers me the most. And I don't, listen, everybody's going to be what they're going to be. I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Just don't try and be something that
You're
you're
not.
not.
I might have missed this, but is he any type of athlete?
No,
All right.
no. Listen, we have a
That's
different
the kicker.
conversation. There'd be a different conversation going on. You know what I mean?
Because
So-
you're going to respect more what he has to say,
Of
too.
course, I want to learn.
Yeah.
I want to learn like anyone else wants to learn. But like, at the same time, it comes to the point like, if I know, you know, enough to be in a room or a place with somebody somewhere to know, hey, listen, maybe I should just shut my mouth and listen to what they have to say because they kind of know a little bit more than I do on this subject matter.
Yep.
Or they're involved on a team or in a situation or individually in things that I'm not. Maybe I should shut my mouth, okay? And you don't, knowing full well what I am,
That there's experts there.
okay, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What are you trying? You're not impressing me. You're not impressing anybody. You know what I mean? If anything, you should be ashamed of yourself for the things you've done that have negatively affected other people's lives. And what this person did, he did this. This person did this to a person that affected their life, okay, earlier in the year.
Oh, wow.
Which I addressed that with him on a phone call once.
Yeah, so like you said, you already don't really like this guy to begin with.
I don't want to say I don't like him. I don't like the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna cause me not to like you.
So if he
Because-
just went up to you and said, hey, how's it going? Good to see you, and left, everything's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't come talk to me about the same bullshit that I'm not gonna agree with you with on anything. Listen, first of all, the biggest mistake you can make with me is don't come to me and talk about how X person doesn't like X because of Y. Well, guess what? That person's a pussy. You're a fucking pussy for allowing that person to act like a pussy and not correcting it. Okay? Because I take that like with my own son. I would never tolerate that. I would never tolerate that, and his mother wouldn't have a word to say about it. It's called man shit. That's my job. And she respects that enough when it happens. There's time and places for her to get involved, but on that type of stuff, that's my job.
Right.
Stay out of it. And I'm certainly not going to propagate that type of thinking or behavior with my son. Out of all people. Oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to help you. I'm going to take the pressure off of you, and I'm going to come help you because you don't like this or that. What are you, crazy? Are you out of your mind?
Unless you're not planning on living in the real
World,
world.
but I mean that's again, it goes to parenting 101. So like and these type of people, it seems it goes from every aspect of their life. It's bullshit. Every bit of it. That's the thing. And if you listen to them long enough, they'll give you the answers to the test. They react the same way with their children, with the people they interact with, to their business, to so on and so forth. So then come along and you're trying to engage me in a conversation you already had with me. You know I'm diametrically on the other side of what you're talking about. And we've had that conversation, Ray. I don't want to hear it.
Why do you think
You're not going to
doing
convince
that?
me.
No.
Why
What's
do
that?
you think? What's the
Just
purpose?
likes to hear himself talk. These people like to hear themselves talk. And because and again, this is a theory. This is not something that it's only my theory, is that if they find you with other people around, maybe they'll catch somebody else's attention.
jump on
Yeah.
jump on their bandwagon
Maybe
and
that'll
say, hey,
happen.
Paul.
Yeah. Maybe that'll happen. I'm just, because in this situation, I had an audience by the time I was done because I was at the point I made it very clear about who I am, what my intentions are, and that if you mess with me or mess with these certain people, I was talking about, then you're going to deal with me. And my words were, you're going to have Godzilla. You're going to see Godzilla. So get the word out. Let everyone know. I'm telling you, and I told this person this. Let me find out X, Y, and Z happens from you or anyone else, and then you'll deal with me personally. Because that's how personal I took this particular situation.
Well, just so you know, the camera's loving you.
Thank
in
you.
that moment.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Very authentic.
Yeah. Well, it's authentic. It's coming from the heart.
I know.
I'm like, I just don't.
Looks good.
I don't. It's real.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like I live it. I don't want to.
There's no purpose to this except being real.
Yeah, man. It's like, why?
We wouldn't be having this podcast right now if we didn't feel
Yeah, man. But it's
adamant
like,
about it.
But it's how many times have you run into this? Come on. You've had it happen to you 1,000 times.
It happens all the time.
All the time.
It does, and it especially happens at sporting events.
Yes.
That's where I find it happening the most, is at sporting events.
Yeah. I mean, we were at Atlantic City for the Nationals, right? We're online getting food, and I'm there with a bunch of guys that I love. Like, we're on there, we're there, and we're talking to guys we see all year round, and they bring up the jiu-jitsu thing again, and it's like they're talking to me like they know something. You don't train.
Right.
You don't train. I don't care your kid wrestles. You yourself don't train. You haven't trained. You got a blue belt when? 10 years ago? What have you done with it since then?
Right.
You're not a blue belt anymore. You're not even a white belt. It's like the black belt that stopped training 10 years ago and says he's a black belt. You're not a black belt anymore, bro.
Or the guy who shows up for the promotion gets his black belt.
Yeah, and then he's gone
He's
forever.
gone.
You're a black belt at that moment
Right.
because you would work to get to that point. So it's no different. It's like, hey, listen, it's like guys that transition, like if they're, and again, you don't see it all the time, but like great athletes sometimes transition to being great coaches. Why? Because now they're applying themselves continually into their craft. Okay? They're going to clinics. They're becoming great coaches. They're doing everything they can to be the best. Plus, they have a plethora of
accolades that they have,
or
yeah.
professional experience to back it up. So,
Yep.
my thing is, when you don't have those type of things, okay, shut up.
Or,
It's not-
or only talk to people who don't know anything either.
Right. Or stay
So
in the
could you be able-
circle.
yeah.
Stay in the circle of idiots. Okay.
Exactly.
Or the misinformed, and have fun with it. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think anyone here has a problem with that. But don't. Who are you talking to?
Right.
Because I certainly don't do it.
Well, I know one dad who was a blue belt 10 years ago, and his kid's in wrestling, and he's very annoying. Well, not to mention names, but
Of course.
doesn't train in 10 years, but he knows everything.
Of course, they know everything. And
Got a
that's
good memory.
And that's why we've said here 1,000 times. Like I always tell these guys, like, and that'd be the next time that a person like that makes a comment to me. I'm like, well, you know what? Just come down to Brewster, man, sign the waiver and show me. Seriously, since you're an expert on it, show me, because obviously I don't know anything. And
You'll even find with Big Mac.
yeah, man, there's McDonald's
Or a
right
Whopper,
there.
depending.
McDonald's is
We'll
across
find
the
out next
street.
week.
Yeah, so my point is, we'll do that. But you said it happens at sporting events all the time. And it's again, like, what are you doing? What is it you're doing?
They're either, and you can't even say that they're living vicariously through their kids because they're just
No.
talking nonsense,
No.
and their kids are legit. Their kids know.
Right.
Their kids know better than the adults know.
And we're not even talking about that today. We're just talking about
That's why I can't hang out at a lot of practices.
well, you're not supposed to.
It's
And,
good.
and let's be honest, you don't need to
Right.
because the coaches are there. They know more than we.
Right.
They forgot more than we know.
Right.
So let them do their thing.
You're in a positive environment with a positive coaching staff, no matter what sport you're involved with. Your job
leave
is
them
to
alone.
drop them off
And
and
pick
pick
'em
them
up.
up. That's it.
And support the coaches in whatever they ask you to
coach
do.
occasionally, it's everything on the right direction.
course,
They're
if they're- if they
they're
have
like
a-
it's in the right direction, you know?
And if
So
they
you're
have,
good.
if they're worth their weight in gold as a coach, they're going to come to you first.
Correct.
It's not going to happen. You're not going to have to question it.
They'll
Like-
nip it in the bud before it becomes
You know?
something that you have to identify.
Right, but again, it's like, man, people out there, knock it off, stop. It's like me claiming to have a PhD in something. I don't.
Yeah. Don't go.
Well,
watch.
maybe shit talk, but that's about
Well, I
it.
got a black belt and shit talk.
Oh, yeah,
Put my
sorry.
red belt.
But here, what I'm
actually.
saying is, don't go a bunch of biophysicists that have PhDs and start
Right.
talking biophysics. You're gonna look like an idiot.
Right.
That's how obvious you look like an idiot
Right.
to us.
It's like I said before, like, the conversation.
Yeah.
The conversation.
It's literally that obvious.
The conversation was on a different subject matter and a different activity, and then he threw that comment into me, and I was like, bullshit. Bullshit. Because I can tell you way back when, and even now, my horsepower and everything else will overcome technique. Okay? That's why if you studied the game at all, and realize it matters. Okay, so at the end of the day, but then again, more importantly, you don't fucking train. You don't train. You can't even keep yourself in shape. You're a walking bag of bones. The only thing in shape with you is your mouth. Your mouth's in great shape. Your mouth is ripped. It's ripped with abs. Like an ab would rip. It's ripped. It's a six-pack. Everything else is bullshit. So do everyone else in the public a favor. Shut up. Shut up, man. Be humble. Talk about what you know. Not about what you think you know. Okay? If you're an educator.
And definitely don't do it in front of educated people.
Right.
Who
If
know.
you're an educator or you're someone that's involved in a board with sanctioning, by all means, talk about that. No one's saying that, but don't make comments about people that are actually in a physical activity, training, etc., when you yourself do not do it. You don't. You don't do it. You look and sound stupid. Because one day you're going to get called out on it. In a polite way. I know that. I've done
Or maybe even not even a
Not
polite way. Then you're
yeah,
in real
then you're
trouble.
real trouble. But I mean,
Yeah.
I've done it.
Well-
I've done it 1,000 times. I've invited plenty of guys to come down.
Or the idiot who doesn't compete, but then criticizes someone who competes.
Yes. I mean, that's the age-old theory. Listen,
You know,
it's,
it's just like-
it's the same idiot that used to watch Mike Tyson fights and say, I could beat Tyson. Okay. All right. I mean, but that's what we're talking about here.
Right.
You know, who the fuck are you? You know, that's ultimately what it comes down to. And it strikes such a chord in me because I just can't process that.
It's
You know?
nonsense.
And that's coming from a guy who doesn't have a problem stating his opinion on things. But I also am the same guy that will keep my mouth shut. If I don't
If
know
necessary.
what I'm talking about. Yeah, if I
Right.
don't know what I'm talking about, I become a student. I don't become an expert on nothing. You know? It's just crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy as hell, man. I needed to revisit that, and I'm sorry if I was a little more, obtuse, but I have
No,
to be.
it's a great topic.
Yeah, I had to be obtuse because the other parts of it.
And it's an important message too.
Yeah,
Let's be
it's
honest.
it's a very important and great message, and I had to be obtuse because other parts of it entail something that's very positive. So I don't want to,
It's an old saying that an idiot with just a little information about stuff is a dangerous person.
Oh God, if that's not the truth, I don't know
Yeah.
what is.
You know, they just know enough, a little bit about stuff, and they think they know everything about it.
Yeah.
They just know just a nudge,
Trite bit.
trite bit,
That trite bit becomes the full
and they have no idea what
volume
they're
1 through
talking
10.
about.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly. There's no doubt. But guys, with that, we're going to wrap it up again. Please like, share, comment, like the YouTube page, share the YouTube page, send it out to your friends, family. We really appreciate all the support. Paul Ciotto, Christopher Shea, Cuzzy Frank's nowhere to be found, Peter Oberk. And
And
that's
that's
it.
that.